Okay, what we're going to do now is talk about why life becomes so cyclical. Now, how many of you feel like you're living the same day over and over and over again? Because that's what life turns out to be. We wake up, we get ready, we go to work, and we come home, we watch a little TV, unwind a little bit, and then before we know it, we do the same thing over and over again. Have you ever caught yourself saying, time flies by? Now, the reason why time flies by is because we're not changing up our routines. We're doing the same thing over and over again. And it's by design by your subconscious. The more you can set up your life to be cyclical and around patterns, the more comfortable your subconscious feels, because now all of a sudden you're not introducing anything new. You don't have to look outside of your comfort zone. Your subconscious acts as a self-preservation mechanism, and that's why you tend to repeat the same stuff over and over again. Now, what we're going to talk about today is how to break out of that. How do you break out of that cycle? But before we can talk about how to break out of that cycle, we first have to talk about how we get into that cycle in the first place. So let's take a look at that. So one of the things that we want to take a look at is our actions, right? So the actions have a lot to do with this. We're repeating some of the same actions over and over again. When you go home from work, do you tend to go the same way? Do you tend to, just stick with the same lunch or the same people that you tend to hang out with? The other thing is, how many times have you driven somewhere and somewhere a little bit further away, and before you know, how did I get here? You drive without even thinking about how you got there in the first place. So it's not like you are consciously thinking about stuff. It just kind of happens. And when stuff just kind of happens, that means you are being reactive to life instead of proactive with life. And so we take certain actions, and whatever actions we have taken thus far have given us the results that we have now. So we take actions, and then plus beliefs will equal our results. Actions plus beliefs equal results. So what does this mean? So we all know we're taking certain actions, right? And we have a certain belief system that gives us certain results. Now, how many of you here want different results in life? Okay. How many of you guys are perfectly happy with your health? Because we all know we're eating healthy and we're all exercising, at least 20 minutes a day or something like that. Like, we're all doing that, right? And then what about your bank account? How many of you guys right now have more than enough money? You go on vacations anytime you want to. You are experiencing all this freedom. How many of you guys are, okay, so nobody. All right. See, so that's the thing, is we're all taking certain actions, and then we have a belief system, which is giving us results. So first off, we've already discussed how we are not happy with the results that we have now. And I believe the two ways of knowing if your results are effective or not is either your bank account, because what that'll do is that'll tell you what you feel about money, and your health, because that'll tell you what you feel about your health. I will tell you this, you are exactly where you believe you need to be. And I'm not talking about this room, I'm talking about your bank account as well as your health. And why is that? Because how many of you guys, it comes to New Year's resolutions, right? And what do we all say? We want to lose weight. Or this is the year we're going to start going to the gym all the time. Or maybe we think, I'm going to save more money. We all think that at the beginning of the year. Now, by January 15th, 85% of the people out there have already broken their New Year's resolutions. So why is that important? That shows that we aren't fully committed to these resolutions that we're setting. And if we can't believe what we're doing ourselves, why would other people believe us? Why would other people take us seriously? And so what happens, the reason why New Year's resolutions are being broken is because it's just an action, right? We all think if we take a different action, then that's going to give us different results. But it's not. taking different actions is not giving us different results. Sure, it might for a little while, but that's a short-term solution. And New Year's resolutions are a perfect example of that. It's got to be something deeper. And what's deeper is our beliefs. That's what's stopping us. Because our beliefs are saying, we believe we should weigh X amount of pounds, and we believe we should have X amount of dollars in the bank account. It's our beliefs that are causing us to believe this way. And because our beliefs are so strong, we are going to take certain actions based off those beliefs, which are going to give us certain results. Now, here's an example of how all this works out and how life just becomes cyclical. A good way of thinking about it is when I was a kid, one of my cousins had a German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd was outside all the time, wasn't an indoor one, and would always bark at everyone and just snarl and just, rawr, you know. And as a kid, if I did something that my cousin didn't like, or even just being me, the mean old cousin that he was, a lot of times he would have me go outside and force me to come near and pet his dog. Now, the thing is, I'm a little kid in elementary school and going up to this German Shepherd that's been outside, doesn't really know what love and affection is, and it was incredibly scary. So a lot of times I would just run. Now, what's the belief that I'm creating at that time, right? It's that German Shepherds are vicious. So the belief that I created at that time about German Shepherds is that they are bad. That's the belief that I created at the time because I didn't know anything. And when we create our beliefs, it's not like we're consciously doing this. It's not like I consciously said, okay, you know what? This German Shepherd is not so friendly, and therefore all German Shepherds must be this way. It's not like I was consciously doing that. It's the subconscious that's creating these beliefs. That's the important thing to realize as well. Actions are being done consciously. We are thinking about the actions that we want to take. But our beliefs are being created subconsciously. It's a self-preservation mechanism. We're trying to protect ourselves. So my subconscious said, German Shepherds, stay away from them because they are bad. They are going to harm us. And so I had that belief my whole life. And then recently, about a year ago or so, one of my really good friends got a German Shepherd. And I was like, okay, well, I know I won't be visiting you anymore. Because again, I'm going back to these beliefs that I created when I was younger, right? And now that I'm aware of all this stuff, now that I'm aware of how beliefs are formed and what they do, and I knew this was what we call a self-limiting belief. It's a belief that's not serving me. It's not helping me. Are there great German Shepherds out there? Absolutely. Would I come near any of them? No, not at all, because of this pattern that I was repeating over and over again. And so I knew that if I want different results, because the results these are giving me are not only am I afraid of German Shepherds, but it's going to negatively impact my friendship now because I'm not going to be going to my friend's house as much. Or if he goes to a dog park and invites me over and I know his German Shepherd's going to be there, I'm not going to go. And I didn't like that. But once you understand this, it changes everything. Because the results that I was getting was this, right? Automatically, I went right here, and I recognized that I did not want those results anymore because they were self-limiting. They weren't helping me. They weren't helping me grow. And so the action that I'm taking all this, sure enough, do not go near German Shepherds. So this is the pattern that I was in. I created a belief, I took certain actions that would lead to certain results. Now, another way of thinking about this, you have your past, you have your present, and then you have your future. Right? When we talk about how life becomes cyclical, what happens is in the past, was when I created this belief, right, about the German Shepherds. So this happened in the past. And because of that, as we move forward, what's happening right now? All that fear is coming back. Because I'm remembering childhood, and I'm remembering going near the dog and it's barking and stuff like that, and I didn't want to go near. I felt threatened. And so now in my present, I'm avoiding it again, based off my past. So again, German Shepherd. And so what am I going to do in the future? Right? Yeah, exactly. I'm going to avoid all this again. And all that does, and this is where the magic is, all that is doing is reassuring me that the way that I've been going about life is the right way. This is why life becomes cyclical. In our past, we create certain beliefs. And even right now, we're repeating those beliefs. And in the future, if nothing changes, what's going to happen is I'm going to continue to support that belief. And that's how it comes. It's not just as simple as a dog. Think about when you were a kid. What were some of the things that you heard about money? Growing up as a kid, you wanted a toy and you went up to your parents and said, I really want this toy. What were some of the things that we heard? Okay, yeah, money doesn't grow on trees. I can't afford that, or we can't afford that. Costs too much money. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, absolutely. Get good grades and you get it. Okay, great. So what are these things telling us about money? That money is scarce. So from childhood, let me find my green marker here, we're told that money is scarce. So that's the program that we created subconsciously. It's not like we thought about it, but from growing up, we heard these things. Money was scarce. We can't afford it. There's not enough money. Or the other thing is, exactly what you said earlier. If you get good grades, then you can get it. So what's that saying? We will use money as a reward. And these are the beliefs that we grew up with. Now, it's not like we're consciously thinking about any of this stuff, right? It just happens. And so in our past, we were told that money is scarce. There's not enough of it. We need to hold on to it. In the present, what are we doing? How many of you guys were nervous paying for today's event? Right? Yeah. Why were you nervous? Okay, it cost some money, yeah. It cost me money to be here too, to pay for the hotel and stuff. But what else is there? Dive a little bit deeper. You haven't done this before. Yeah, keep building off that. You haven't done something like this before. Keep building. Yeah, exactly. This is outside of our comfort zone. To spend money to come here for this 8-hour event is outside of our comfort zone because we haven't done it before. And so right away, we revert back to our subconscious. Remember, the action is you're choosing whether or not to be here. That's the action. But it's not like you're consciously thinking about it. As soon as you heard that there was a price to pay to come here today, immediately your beliefs kicked in, your subconscious kicked in and said, whoa, outside of our comfort zone, we're not going to come here. I can tell you right now, with all of you guys here today, there's about 25 of you. There were about 30 people who signed up. So 5 people prevented themselves from coming here in the first place. Why? Because their beliefs talked them out of it. So that's why at the very beginning I said, look, the fact that you guys are here in the first place speaks volumes as to the type of people that you are, because you guys have identified yourselves as wanting different results. Not just that, but you recognize that you need to take certain actions. And I told you guys at the beginning, this event is not about actions. I'm not going to teach you actions. I'm not going to teach you to ways to go to the gym more or ways to save more money or earn more money. But what I am going to do is help you challenge your beliefs. Because the thing is, until you challenge your beliefs, you're not going to grow. That's our subconscious playing into it. Our subconscious will only listen to information and process information that it agrees with. So if I say something today that you guys 100% agree with, that's the stuff that you're going to pay attention to. But what I'm saying is you need to do the opposite. The stuff that I say that you don't agree with, that's the stuff that you need to circle and highlight and point stars to and arrows and revert back to, because what that's doing is that's challenging your beliefs. That's letting you know that you are now outside of your comfort zone, and that's where you are going to grow. Now, a lot of you can just sit back and say, I don't agree with what you're talking about. I'm going to stop listening, stop participating, and that's on you. But then think about where else are you doing that in your life? When you come across opposition, when you come across learning opportunities, when you come across challenges, where else are you just backing away and not moving forward because your subconscious won't let you? That's what today is all about. And so I knew that I wanted different actions, right? I knew that I want different results. I did not like this result. I did not like this program. The fact that I didn't, like German Shepherds or, growing up or whatever. So I recognized that I need to do something differently. Now, could I have, just erase this too. Now, could I have changed my actions? I could have. I could have warmed up to the German Shepherd a little bit. I could have gone to visit other German Shepherds. I mean, there's certain action steps that I could have taken to get me there. Would that have given me the results that I want? Temporarily. It would have temporarily. But here's the thing, is I would always need to revert back. That anxiety would build up regardless, because I haven't addressed the underlying issue of the belief. So the anxiety would build up. I would get nervous. I would think twice, do I want to do this or do I not? And I would always have that mental image of my cousin's German Shepherd. Now, here's the thing. I can't go back in history, right? I can't go back and take a look at myself as a child and do things differently. I can't do that. But here's where the magic is. If I understand this, then I can change everything. The results that I want now, German Shepherd, smiley face. That's the result that I want. So how do I get there? I showed you how action steps are only going to get there, a little bit. It's more of a short-term solution. So what I really need to do is I need to tackle my beliefs. Why do I feel the anxiety that I do around German Shepherds? Why is it that I have this mental image of fear? And again, I can't go back to the past, but what I can do, because I understand this formula, is I can rewrite this. See, the belief that I had before was bad. And if I want to change that to belief equals good, this is what I need to change. I need to tackle that belief. And once you understand that, now all of a sudden, the belief that I have that German Shepherds are bad, true or false? Yeah, it's false. So what does that tell me? That beliefs are lies. Oh, that's the thing, is beliefs are lies. Because they are based off of our past. Our past happened. We create a story around that. And then we continue to live that story over and over again. And that's exactly what happened here, right? And so if I want different beliefs, I've got to go back and rewrite that story that I created. So the story that I created as a kid when I was 8 years old is self-preservation mechanism by my subconscious. German Shepherds are bad, stay away. But as an adult, that is not serving me anymore. I know that I want different results. So what are some other things what are some other stories that I could create? Yeah, maybe my cousin was just mean. Or maybe the German Shepherd was that way because he wasn't indoors or shown love or whatever the case is. Yeah, so we have a few different options that people are tossing out there. But what does that tell you? This is open to interpretation. Oh. So the event happens. It's my interpretation of that event that is going to create my outcome. Wow, okay, so now we're getting somewhere, aren't we? So now we are at the event plus, oops, let me erase that, plus our interpretation equals, equals our outcome, right? So if we know this, if we know that event plus our interpretation determines our outcome, what was the event that happened? The German Shepherd. So the event was German Shepherd. What was my previous interpretation? My previous interpretation was, yeah, absolutely, bad. And what was my outcome? Bad. But here's the thing, now that you know this, and you know the interpretation is flexible because I'm the one creating it. This is the story that I keep telling over and over again because of my subconscious, because of what happened in the past. Now that I know this, I can rewrite it. And so now we rewrite it to what? Like we talked about. Where were all the things that we just talked about? Yeah, maybe it was just a bad German Shepherd. Who knows? He was just a bad seed. That happens. I don't know if you guys know this, but there are certain humans out there that are bad seeds, right? So why can't animals? So if I change my interpretation of that story that happened, what am I doing? I'm rewriting the past. 2 German Shepherd equals good. What's the outcome that I have now? Yes. Smiley face. And that's what I did. That is how I rewrote my past. And now, I'm telling you, my friend's German Shepherd, he's a hoot. His name is Gandalf, and just a great personality on him. He's such a strong personality. He's a bit of a goofball. But in any case, by learning all this, I was empowering myself. And that's the key. Before you learn this stuff, right? Before you know any of this stuff, we think of ourselves as victims. And how easy would it be for me to go back and say I was a victim of my cousin because he forced me to pet his dog. I'm a victim. It was out of my control. That's how most of us are living our lives. We're looking externally at stuff that happened in our past to dictate what's happening right now, to dictate what's going to happen in the future. And whether you know it or not, a lot of you guys are parents, your kids are being taught the same stuff right now. But if you know this, that's where the magic comes from. We're teaching you how to rewrite your past. We're teaching you how to break out of the cycle of everyday living by doing things that are outside of your comfort zone, by shedding your past. Take a look at some of the things that are holding you back. Some of the things that you wished you had a different outcome with in your life. Somewhere where you've recognized that you want different results. And do this exercise. That's what's going to do it. How easy is it for us to just raise our hand? Yep, I was the victim, and I'm going to stay that way because of what happened to me as a kid. And yes, I'm saying something small. I'm talking about my friend's German Shepherd and my cousin's German Shepherd. But there's other stuff out there. Sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, abandonment issues, having our hearts broken, seeing violent crimes. All these things, if you tell anyone else, they would say you're justified in feeling like you're the victim. Something wrong happened to you. It was out of your control. Therefore, it's okay for you to use all this as a crutch your whole life. And if you don't amount to anything, that's okay. Is that okay with you? because it wasn't okay with me. Is there other stuff that I've had to overcome? Yeah, absolutely. Some tough stuff. Some very, very tough stuff I've had to overcome. But because I know all this, I was empowered to do something about it. I didn't want to play the victim anymore. By learning this, I was able to rid myself of the guilt, of the shame, of the reactionary mode that I was in, to completely have a different lifestyle than I have now. You want to talk about how powerful this is? Think about when you're a kid, right? When you were a baby, you were taught to walk. Okay, now it's time to walk. Now it's time to potty train. Now it's time to start talking, or whichever order that goes in. And then you go to school, and what are you taught? Okay, ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. And then you go all the way through middle school and high school, and then some of us go off to college, and what are you taught there? Okay, here's your syllabus. Here's what you need to do. So our entire lives, we've been spoon-fed on what to do. Spoon-fed what to do. So what happens in our present? This is why so many people struggle once they leave college or graduate from high school, because they don't know what to do. So what do? They watch other people. What are they doing? They're getting jobs. They're working for other people. And that's the mindset that they go into. So that was the mindset that I was into. Once I graduated from college, you want to know what my first job was after graduating from college? I was working at Burger King. Now here I am with a degree in computer science, right when technology is blowing up. And I am, would you like fries with that? How can I make your Whopper today? Because that's the mindset that I was in. And I knew if I don't change anything about it, I'm going to stay in that mindset my whole life of being the worker bee. And I didn't want that anymore. I wanted a life of freedom. I wanted to be able to do this. See, not many of you guys know me, but what I'm doing right now, exactly what I'm doing right now, I've wanted to do my whole life. Being a leadership trainer and helping people overcome obstacles and how to power through them by giving you guys the tools on how to do all that stuff. Exactly what I'm doing right now. I've wanted to do my whole life. But had I stayed in that path, I wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't be here today. And so by going through, and yeah, actions do play a small amount, but it's your beliefs that you really need to take a look at. And by changing my beliefs, I got different results. By rewriting my past, I was able to create what I have now. So, this is some powerful stuff. Very, very powerful stuff. But what this teaches you is the first thing that you need to do in order to have the life that you say that you want, in order to change the results, in order to have a different outcome, in order to break out of the cycle, is you need to take 100% responsibility for your own life. Be tired of playing the victim. Don't do it anymore. When you tell someone a story about how you were hurt in the past, you're playing the victim. Instead, if you empower yourself to take a look at the event that happened and rewrite history, it's going to give you a completely different outcome and completely different results.